Hey guys, welcome back to BQ Watches, and today I'm joined by these handsome gentlemen. We've got someone very familiar to the channel. Josh, how are you, sir?
Yeah, very good.
The photography specialist, and we have some real expertise today. We have someone that I know very well, Danielle, a watchmaker here at BQ Watches.
Oh, well.
That actually came from A to Z, so very familiar. Daniel, sir, welcome.
Thank you.
It's great to have some watch knowledge and some expertise on the photography side. But today we're going to talk about AP, because AP have arguably become a little bit more attainable of late. When I say attainable, I mean that in a sort of broad, way, because depending on what you can afford. But if you're on the market and you've got a budget of anything for 20 to 30,000 pounds sterling for 2025, then a lot of these watches that we're going to show you today are very attainable, and you may want to consider them over maybe even a Rolex. So Josh, what are your thoughts on AP at the moment?
So I'm very aware they're part of the Holy Trinity.
Yep.
And I think even though they've become more attainable, relatively more attainable, I think they still have that that grail status. So any of these, I think people can dress up or down. They'd be, a jewel in someone's collection. Some of these really stand out. I love the variety of colors and shapes and sizes. I like how you can get a relatively thin chronograph or an absolute, beast of a watch, which you can, all of these you can dress up and down.
100%. I mean, AP, the Royal Oak, which was like the Tudor Black Bay, it's got a size and a version of it that will suit every sort of style that someone is looking for, and that is the main staple foundation piece in their collection. That's what makes AP what they are today. I mean, I get asked a lot of questions. I really like this AP, and it's really for you, Daniel, as well. The only thing they've got a bit of a reputation that even though you may be able to get them for 25, 30K, the servicing cost is maybe sometimes 4 or 5 times more than a Rolex, for example. So you've got to be aware of that. But for example, Daniel, someone came in with this particular timepiece, this diver, for example, for a service. Would it really cost 5 times more to get it serviced at BQ? How would it work exactly here?
Probably not. After an estimate, we can have a proper value of the cost for the customer. Maybe
But it wouldn't be like going to AP,
lower,
it would be like
less than 1,000 pounds, maybe.
Right, okay. So it is doable, but obviously if it needs parts, that's when the cost comes in, right? Because I don't know how it works with AP. Are they parts easily accessible, or how would it work?
No, maybe not for everyone. You need to be accredited, maybe.
Okay.
The parts you can find maybe on the market.
On the market, yeah. So servicing though, to maintain the watch, you can still get it relatively serviced without breaking the bank. However, some people will argue if you can afford a watch for 30 to 40K, you can afford to pay the servicing cost.
Yeah.
So there's a few people in that bracket.
You're in the car world as well.
Yeah.
The better the car, the more it costs to fix up.
Well, look,
part and parcel.
I'm seeing these APs at the moment. I'm not saying they've plummeted in value, but it's a bit like when you buy an AMG or even like an MA or an S63 AMG. The reason why they cost the money they are at the moment, because the cost to maintain them outweighs sometimes, what the cost of the bloody car is at a certain age. But then they tend to rise in value when they become a modern classic.
Yeah.
For example, I think the watch world is obviously a lot different than the car world, but there are a lot of similarities as well. But I mean, for me, AP, it's amazing that you can get some of the divers for like 12, 15K now. And these, obviously the chronograph is small, slim and slender. I believe this one is around 40K, give and take. Check it out on the website, guys. I might be wrong. Check out the BQ website. But there's deals to be had. That's what I'm getting at the moment. And more in the past, it's always been about Rolex, especially if you've got that sort of limited budget. But now people are seeing the prices drop to revert back to where they were maybe, 4 or 5 years ago. And they're asking me now more about because they have some watch knowledge, these guys, but they're worried about the servicing side. And if something does go wrong, this is the reservation or concern they have maybe about pulling the trigger. So it is reassuring though. If you buy from BQ watches, what are the warranties? What sort of warranty do you guys offer?
2 years.
2 years. So on this, that's great. So if anything goes wrong in 2 years, you're covered. You don't need to worry about anything.
But these are bulletproof watches. You know, unlike Patek, you have to baby them. If you notice, most of the so-called dive or sports watches on Patek have gone back down to 30-meter water resistance.
I mean, Daniel, you know more about the mechanical sides. How bulletproof are these watches?
Depends. Yeah, diver are really solid. Depends.
Would you go diving with this? Technically, I would never.
If I lose
It's got a screw down
40
crown.
grams, diving would be a problem to me.
But no, if you can afford these watches, you probably could take it to the beach. But me personally, I wouldn't do it. I don't have money to burn. You know what I mean? I'd probably baby this like it's a rare.
Always have a second choice. This one is nice.
I like that one, the khaki green, and it's trying. Look, what's happened, me personally, and you can agree or disagree. I think market trends are changing in terms of sizing at the moment. So you see a lot of the brands now downsizing, and it's not just. You look at Tudor, for example. You know, they're really looking at giving you that slimmer profile, making it all slender. And there was a period where these types of watches, these Royal Oak, for example, this chronograph, it was the trend. Chunky, real presence, a real bit of heft on your wrist. And that's changed now.
Really, you think?
It has changed. I think that has changed. However, if you're a larger guy and you've got a big wrist, then these are perfect for you. I don't think when you're buying APs, you know, I think the trend is an AP is an AP at the end of the day. And I think that should be, is it like if you buy into the brand Ferrari, it's a Ferrari at the end of the day. It doesn't matter what model it is you've bought into the brand. There's no such thing as a cheap Ferrari. Let's be honest, that's the same thing with the Holy Trinity, with one exception, Vacheron, for me. I find them exceptional value, and they don't get the credit, they don't get any of the limelight. All I hear about being, not an influencer, but being online, it's always about Rolex, RM, AP and Patek, and very rarely do you get a mention on Vacheron. And that new Vacheron that's come out now, we'll leave some images of that on the screen for you now, that ultra thin, what a beautiful, fantastic piece. And if you look at their lineup, their catalogue, Vacheron, they've got some exceptional pieces. They really are. And they for me, are probably even better value than AP. But AP has got a bit more, it seems to have a bit more street cred.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think, they've been in for longer. Vacheron sort of disappeared. But they're the horology.
Are they for an older audience? Not to discriminate against age, but I find that if you see someone with a Vacheron, you tend to think he definitely knows about watches. He's someone that hasn't bought, it's like, how do I put this? It's like, instead of someone buying a Ferrari, they're buying a McLaren.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because he knows about cars. You know what I mean as well? There's that aspect of it as well.
So I think they've taken the business away from Jaeger LeCoultre.
You think so, yeah?
I think that's where it's gone.
But JSC's gone really quiet.
And expensive, and I think they've done a bad move. But I think if you want, real watchmaking, a beautiful watch, and it's in the shadow of the Nautilus.
I think it depends where you are in the journey in your collecting. It depends on how bad your addiction's got. So you're in a situation where you've got Rolexes now, and you want to get into the Holy Trinity. This is what tends to happen. You want at least one AP or one Patek or Vacheron, and a lot of people will probably go for the safest bet would be Patek. I think because the retention, the Nautilus is what it is, but it's hard to attain, and they go for a lot more than AP. So this is the Gerald Genta design. It's all about Gerald Genta design. At the end of the day, this is what you're getting here, and I just find it now that for a very long time, I haven't considered AP because I was concerned about servicing costs, because I hear about horror stories and stuff like that. But the first time I'm looking at this, and I'm like, you know what? It is attainable. I sell a couple of watches and I can get an AP in my collection, which is very doable.
I'm always impressed when I see someone with an AP.
Oh, thank you. No.
I do. I think it's cool. Yeah, I think it's a real flex.
Daniel, what are your thoughts?
I like this brand.
If you had 30, 40k, what would you go for in this box?
I don't know, maybe this for my wrist, a small chronograph for the Royal Oak Josh has.
Does it look too big, or is it like a
It
G-Shock?
depends
It
why
makes you look
yeah.
like you look like
big
someone.
G-Shock is
You
bigger.
look like we're gonna go and have a couple of pints now.
Okay.
No, I like that. I do like. Look, I do like my taste in watches have changed over the years because I've gone through that stage in collecting watches where I went for bigger pieces. I still like my bigger pieces. Sometimes you want something with a bit of presence, but I don't know what it is. I started getting into vintage watches, and I started to realize, my God, how more refined something looks when it's slim and slender. When you think about the innovation, how they produce that movement, the fit in that case. Because now it's all about, this movement, the case is this thick because of the movement. So you have to respect the craftsmanship that went in to these slimmer movements to fit in those slimmer cases, which I think is amazing. However, I do still believe there's nothing wrong wearing a nice chunky monkey on the wrist.
Especially this time
especially when you're spending a lot of money on a watch, you want to know that you've got as much watch as you have, you can have on your wrist, you know. So, and with me, and I'll be totally honest with you, I get into watches depending on what my budget is at the time. So it's like, okay, I'm looking at watches at this price point. What is the best watch I can get at this price point? This is what I look at as well. So some people I look at the brand prestige. Or is it, am I getting a gold piece over a still? I mean, the difference is when I say attainable, when you're buying Rolex, when you're paying in the 30k category, you're getting solid gold. That is the difference. You're getting still here. You're paying, just in case people say, well, you are paying for the branding here. You're paying for the prestige of having a piece in the Holy Trinity. It's like you're buying into, I don't know, Ferrari, Lamborghini.
I think that's okay, That's how luxury brands work.
That's how it works.
Yeah.
So, you know what I was thinking? If we were right now, right here, right now, we had to decide what the Holy Trinity is. Because we're going on the back of history right now. But as it stands, the market now, where these brands position themselves, would AP still be part of the Holy Trinity for you guys? Because they are a bit of a one-trick pony as well. This is the bread and butter for them. They do produce other pieces and all the rest of it, but this is what sells at the moment. For you, what would be part of the Holy Trinity? Because I'll give you an example. Some of the viewers have said to me, D, for me, the Holy Trinity, this is not me. What they've told me is they look at Patek, RM, and AP. And they've pushed Vacheron out. And they put Vacheron just below, and then they've put the rest, and so I found that quite interesting because Vacheron, for me, don't get the hype anymore. So guys, leave in the comments below what you think. Is AP, where does that stand in the Holy Trinity? Is it still a Holy Trinity piece? Is it still up there? Does it still deserve to be in the top 3? Or do you think it's in decline? Let us know in the comments below, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next video.